places, and you feel bad for those people, but you really don't know it till it's you, till it hits you.
And many other home and business owners don't have much left in the city of Sulphur, one of several areas twisted apart by weekend tornadoes. Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell's there.
Where we are, at least one person was killed in a bar, with several people also trapped inside. 2 more lives were taken in Holdenville, one being a 4-month-old baby, and a 4th person killed on I-35 near Marietta. The damage spans across 12 counties here in Oklahoma.
There's also a death amid the storm damage in Iowa. Parts of Nebraska also have tornado destruction. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's in Saudi Arabia before another trip to Israel for talks.
The only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas.
As after Israel hit Rafah with airstrikes, killing at least 22 Palestinians ahead of a planned ground invasion going after Hamas militants. But Blinken hopes that doesn't happen.
In the absence of a plan to ensure that civilians will not be harmed, we can't support a major military operation in Rafah.
This is the anti-Israel protests rage on American college campuses. That's at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. Police made arrests this morning at Virginia Tech, and 4 police officers were injured at demonstrations in New Orleans. In California,
a pro-Israel rally went off as scheduled here at UCLA, but it was met with counter-protesters who came to demonstrate in support of an ongoing pro-Palestinian encampment on campus. Eventually, some, quote, physical altercations broke out after one of the groups breached a barrier designed to keep the 2 protests separate.
Fox's Christina Coleman. Former President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning, "Stop the protests." A new CNN poll gives him a 6-point lead over President Biden, a 9-point Trump edge, factoring in independent candidates. America's listening to Fox News.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up?
I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
The elites want more control through digital currencies in a cashless society. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I believe gold is the answer to safeguard your wealth, especially if you own your gold inside of a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting SHELTER to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, so text SHELTER to the number 989898 to claim your free info kit today.
Message and data rates may apply.
We mentioned that new CNN poll giving former President Trump a 6-point lead over President Biden ahead of their 2024 rematch. The former president will not be in court today. It's an off day at his first criminal trial in New York. Same thing Wednesday when he will campaign in Michigan and Wisconsin. Over the weekend, he met with one of his former opponents.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has apparently agreed to bury the hatchet with his former rival in the GOP presidential primary, Donald Trump. Sources telling the New York Post that the two met in Miami Sunday to discuss what DeSantis can do to help Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. Reports say DeSantis has agreed to hit the campaign trail for the former president. Insiders also telling the New York Post that Governor DeSantis would help with fundraising, tapping his donor network to raise money for the general election against President Biden. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Today, Vice President Harris will go campaign in Atlanta, touting the Biden economic agenda. On Wall Street, stock futures rising, coming off the best week of the year for the Nasdaq, surging up more than 4%. In the NBA, Minnesota sweeps Phoenix out of the playoffs with a 122-116 Game 4 win. The Timberwolves advanced to the second round for the first time in 20 years. In other games,
behind a career playoff high 47 points from Jalen Brunson, the Knicks beat the 76ers in Philadelphia 97-92 to take a 3-1 lead. The Clippers, who led the Mavericks by 31 points in the first half Sunday, watched Dallas come all the way back to take the lead before the Clippers regained control and held off Dallas 116-111 to even their series 2 games apiece. Without both Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard because of injuries, the Milwaukee Bucks fell behind 3-1 against the Indiana Pacers. Miles Turner scored 29 points Sunday. Indiana beat Milwaukee 126-113.
That's Fox's Jared Max. On the ice, the New York Rangers completed a sweep of the Washington Capitals. Colorado, Edmonton, and Vancouver were also winners last night. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
With Ricky Gordon, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals were within a strike of sweeping the series.
Here's your look at local news. 2 local firefighters being recognized for their success in rescuing an Illinois Marathon participant who went into cardiac arrest during a race Saturday morning. Urbana Fire dispatched to the Meadowbrook Park to respond to the man who went into cardiac arrest participating in the race. Good news, he became alert again after talking to first responders as they transported him to the hospital. Police asking for the public's help in contributing to the arrest of an armed robber who stole money from an Urbana business Friday. The man entered an unnamed business wearing dark clothes and a mask, revealed he had a gun, demanding the cashier give him money. After the cashier handed over that money, suspect fled. Urbana police ask anyone with additional information to contact Crime Stoppers. Champaign police announcing an arrest in connection to a shooting that left a man with multiple gunshot wounds. They say their investigation into the February 19 shooting, indicating Alan Williams of Calumet City approaching a man sitting in his car that was parked in his driveway on West Vine Street. Williams accused of opening fire, striking the victim several times. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hey, it's Monday. Good morning, ESPN 93.5. I'm Stevie J. Yo to Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
She's here. Greg Solier. My farmer friends say they got 1.6, 1.8, near 2 inches total kind of thing. I don't know what you had. About right?
That's if you add everything up over the course of late Friday to the pre-dawn hours of yesterday, and at least we had some wind yesterday as well around that. Some of those anemometers hit 51 mile an hour wind gust noted around the Rantoul over areas of Urbana as well, and Willard Airport. So a little bit of everything for everyone.
We got the Saturday. We got all the running in, and then it rained again late after.
That's right.
But our weather with Greg Solier, our learned one, the meteorologist, brought to you this morning by Carl.
Carl reminds you, monitor your skin regularly. Talk with your doctor if you notice any changes. For details, go to carl.org/skin cancer.
All right, my friend, how's the weekend looking?
Well, we continue on here in this more or less kind of, as it ought to be, normal spring weather pattern around here. And that means spells of warmth. There's no real cold here in sight. Periods of wind and, some rainfall. Average rainfall for this point in late April, early May is about a half to a little shy of 3/4 of an inch. We've seen some more than that in some spots. But again, we're in good shape soil moisture-wise. We start this week kind of a winding down process of at least getting temperatures and above average and moisture levels closer to average around here, and then start the window of opportunity for field work as we hit the ground running later this week and into next week as well. So hang in there, but I'm sure there's some standing water, and those tile lines are running full tilt, better than 6+ over the weekend over sections of the western Corn Belt areas of Missouri and Iowa. Matter of fact, down towards the Ozarks over the past about 10 days to 2 weeks, they've had more than a foot down there. So again, reversing order here, where the worst drought areas are getting some recharge and drought relief. Other areas that have gotten too wet are going to be winding down into a drier, more seasonal mode with rainfall totals and coverages in mind. Out the door this morning with the back end of rain not too far back to the west of us at the current time. Readings are basically in the upper 50s and lower 60s. 58 at Willard and Savoy, 60 at St. Louis, 59 up at the Kankakee. Folks up towards that Chicagoland area and that Kankakee area had 2 to 3 inches of rain over the weekend as well. 73 today with mostly cloudy day. Showers winding down here the next hour or two, and maybe pop up one late this afternoon. Evening time, 53 in the overnight low tomorrow. And Wednesday, lots of sunshine. 75 tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday. Couple of scattered, 50 to 60% coverage on the rainfall. Showers and thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, up near 85 on Thursday. Low 70s on Friday. Dry weather for the weekend into the first half of next week. 4 or 5 days right there in a row. 75 on Saturday and Sunday. Mid to upper 70s next Monday and Tuesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, meteorologist Greg Solier.
It is an election year, as we all know. Understanding what is fact and what isn't pretty important. Global credibility expert Mitchell Levy. You've only written 60 books? Really?
Goodness.
Is that right?
65, but there's a point in time you stop counting.
I mean, you've worked over 1,000 corporations. You've got some stuff here. I want to know how often you're at home. Do you travel a lot? You doing Zoom calls? How do you do all this, Mitchell?
I am actually at the moment. I am not home. I'm about to head to. I'm in Charlotte. I'm heading to a conference. Normally, I'm Silicon Valley. How I do a lot of work is I find a process that needs fixing. I fix it one or two times. I then come up with a way to automate it. And then I get a team that I hire, and they do the work for me. And so it's I try to leverage as much as I can.
So it's the hat, isn't it? It's the hat.
It's definitely the hat.
Look up Mitchell Levy, and he wears this Tom Landry, former Dallas Cowboy coach hat, which is pretty cool. Anyway, we are in election year. I guess you are able to really discern and figure things out. Why aren't you the White House spokesman?
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
You'd call that fun? I'd call that awful. Trying to explain all this.
It's fun is an interesting word, right? Because the reason I say that's fun, it would not be an easy job in any way, shape, or form. But what's fun is trying to solve a problem universally for everybody. Trying to solve something that doesn't exist. And this is right now, we're at a very critical junction of humanity, because the opportunity for us to look at crap, to look at fake, to see things that we don't know which is real or not. And I think what's happened is in society, because everyone now has a camera and everyone now has a microphone, and the age of the influencer is upon us, and that influencer isn't always telling the truth. And so how do we determine the difference? And this is a great place. For me, that seems like fun.
Okay, so how do we tell what's fact and fiction? I mean, because we're hearing it and we're not sure, and then we saw something, heard something. How do we determine?
You know, what's interesting is when we went to school, one of the things that we weren't really taught, which is now something that we really have to teach ourselves, how do we be critical thinkers? First, don't always or any time accept a single piece of news. So how do you double check? How do you fact check? Is there a source you can go to, or is there a series of sources you can go to? If it's a political piece of news, can you go to the other side and read about the other side? Can you read about both sides of the story? The thing that's interesting is when you're looking at a piece of information, look at the source it came from, and determine how accurate have they been in the past. What type of integrity do they have? Probably most importantly, when I think about credibility, do they have the intent and commitment to do the right thing by the people, or do they have the intent and commitment to do the right thing by themselves? And that'll help you judge whether or not it makes sense to listen to this story versus another.
You know, Mitchell, this is exactly in the zone for us here at the University of Illinois. We had a protesting situation. We had a lot of runners in town for a race weekend. They had to pivot on Friday night with thousands of people let down on their 5K experience because of a protest that started near our Illini Union and alma mater. How do we know, who's coming in for these protests? We're hearing about professional protesters that are busting. And when you talk to some of these protesters, some of them don't actually know why they're there. How do you suggest we, filter through and fact check this situation?
It is incredible how the concept of the internet has grown to the place where we could really mobilize a lot of people for a particular area. The problem is, who's mobilizing them? And what's the story behind the story? And if you want to look at the worst part of what's happening now with college campuses and the disruption there, is to think about what happened in 2020 when those students graduated high school. They did not get a graduation because they were disrupted for COVID. And now in 2024, that same group of students may be disrupted from having their college graduation. And that's really disappointing.
So I'm inferring that there's some mental health issues involved in all of this. I think there are. I think we're having a mental health crisis in the country. But to really determine, because people are fast moving, you still got to take our kiddos to soccer and dance and everything else. We don't have a lot of time to discern and check 5 sources. But I always thought of this. You're an ideas guy. Last thing, Mitchell. What if you had on the screen, whoever's talking, an AI thing that converts what your words are, whether they're true or not?
Oh, my God, I love that. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be fun, right? But then, of course, like anything else, because it's AI, garbage in, garbage out. So what's the quality of the content? But wouldn't it be interesting if we were able to tell, here's the source, and by the way, they have a 50% time of telling the truth, 50% time of not telling the truth. Right? How do we do
then
it?
You could really gauge, and people say, I want to be a journalist. Okay, be a journalist. I don't want to know how you vote. I just want to know the information so I can discern it myself, because you could also have a red thing coming across that opinion.
Right.
And that's fine. I just think it'd be nice to have an instant with AI. It must be a way. It's just something for your brain to work on today there, Mitchell. So
I appreciate that. One of the things I got from this conversation and a couple others on my tour this morning is simply, we need to create a course in how do you be discerning? Like, how do you teach how can I create a course that's like 5 or 10 minutes long?
Yeah.
Like something really simple.
I think we'd have fun in the room together, Mitchell. We'd have a good time in the room together. We could light the house with energy, with energies and ideas. How can people connect with Mitchell Levy?
It's the best way is through my website, which is mitchelllevy.com. So that's 3 L's in the middle there, and you'll see what I'm doing on credibility and showing the world how to live their lives in a way that is more servant leadership focused, that is more focused on doing the right thing because you know in your heart it's the right thing to do.
Hey, I'd love to chat again. Great talking to you, Mitchell. Nice meeting you. Enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. ESPN 93 fine. Now we jump to our sports headlines. The Cardinals let one get away. They had one strike away from beating and sweeping the Mets. It didn't happen.
With Ricky Gordon, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals were within a strike of sweeping the series in New York when Harrison Bader drove in the run to tie the game, and then Mark Vientos hit a home run to win it. The Mets won 4-2 to salvage 1 of 3.
A close game throughout, only one hit with runners in scoring position for each team. Brendan Donovan drove in a run in the top of the 11th, but Matthew Liberatore, who pitched very, very well, could not finish it off.
He couldn't finish it off. Bader singled up the middle to drive in the tying run, and then a pitch out over the plate. Vientos hit a home run, his second hit off Liberatore in the game.
Cardinals had several situations in the game where they pitched out of trouble many, many times. Lance Lynn did it. Ryan Fernandez did it. Gallegos did it. But unfortunately, Liberatore not able to do it in the 11th.
The Cardinals won 2 out of 3 in New York and will move on to play the Tigers in Detroit tonight. Stephen Matz 1-2 against Kenta Maeda 0-1. And we're on the air at 4:45 Central Time.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
Boston beat the Cubs. It's the New York Mets today, 6:40 start on US 105.9.
All right, we check your weather brought to you by Busey for over 150 years. Member FDIC.
Look at everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign and vicinity and a round or two of significant rainfall over the weekend. The northern extent of some of that severe weather that swept through areas of the deep southern plains and southeastern states. Now this next weather system weakening one as it makes its way on east. Some shower activity around and ending this morning by mid-morning, and then a pop-up shower chance this afternoon. Even an evening thunderstorm in just 1 or 2 spots, but the bulk of the rain moving on out. Decreasing clouds for tonight, but a lot of cloudiness for the day today, up to 73. Winds around westerly for tonight and 53. Tomorrow mostly sunny and 75. A warm to 80 on Wednesday. And Thursday and Friday, next round of good coverage showers and thunderstorms across the area. 85 on Thursday, back into the mid-70s on Friday. Dry weather for the weekend should extend well into early to mid next week. A window of opportunity there. 75 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday, mid to upper 70s next Monday and Tuesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Accumulation, preservation, generation. At Busey Bank, these are the principles we use to build meaningful financial partnerships with our clients and their families. With sound advice and vast resources, partner with Busey for a personalized approach to your legacy. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Tesla shares are rallying up more than 9% after reports the company will work with China-based tech company Baidu to provide full self-driving assistance for drivers in China. Domino's Pizza shares are up nearly 1% after dramatically better sales and earnings. Its U.S. sales at existing stores were up more than 5.5%. It was helped by its loyalty program and its relationship with Uber Eats. Alphabet shares are slightly lower this morning after rising to a market value of $2.13 trillion on Friday. It's the first time Alphabet, parent of Google, has closed with a value over $2 trillion, pushed higher by upbeat earnings and plans to pay a dividend for the first time. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
It's time to take the quiz. 5 questions, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week.
History, pop culture, science, sports, civics. How much do you know? Let's find out.
Who was the first person to walk on the moon?
Jackson or something?
Neil Armstrong.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox and then listen to the quiz podcast to find out how you did.
Play, share, and of course, listen to the quiz right now at thequiz.fox.
So I'm at the Ark on Friday, and I'm talking to Jed, the former owner of Body and Soul.
Yes.
And I see Mike Lindemann, and I look over, how's it going, Mike?
Hey.
And it was a forced smile.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going, oh.
Yeah.
And then Jed said he's not happy they just canceled the 5K.
Oh, no.
So
you were at the Ark when that happened.
I was, and nobody knew. And I had my phone, and I thought, nah. I'm not. I was so mad.
I know.
I was so mad that the protests got to the point where the police felt it wasn't safe because it was going to spill on Green Street and the 5K was going to come by and you're begging for an incident and all these other things. And it just was so aggravating. And then when I had time to calm down, I said, I don't know the whole situation. I don't know.
Right.
If you're making that call, you got to assure you don't have people run into a mess. And if they're busing protesters in, this is what I understand. Who paid for the buses? They're expensive. I'm going to a Cardinal game. It's expensive. Who gets the buses? Where do they get the look-alike tents?
Right.
It's some source, and I know we know. They're not promoting who's... We know that stuff. It just doesn't get out or not promoted or what? Is it George Soros? Who is it?
No, and the students that they grabbed to do kind of a quick, why are you doing this interview? They just didn't have any substance to what they were saying.
They don't know, most of them. They have the agitators, they have the coordinators. They do it through their cell phones and TikTok or whatever platform they're using. And they're getting out there, and it's anti-everything. It's anti-capitalism, anti-Zionist, anti-Jew, it's just anti. And, you know, when you suggest that the solution's going to be that there can't be a Jewish state and there can't be Jews, I mean, that's not acceptable. So I was very, very happy that a release coming from the brain trust of the crisis management at the University of Illinois suggested there would be expulsions. You'd get suspended. You would lose all kinds, and they got graduation finals just ahead.
That's
so
right.
Here is what, and I want to really thoughtfully think about this. Here's what the demand is across the nation now. They are asking, all the protesters are asking for total immunity from all of this. No.
That's a quick answer.
Thank you. I thought about it for a long time. No. No. You will face consequences when you have... A friend of mine, his wife, Jewish, they were down on campus. They're a pretty young couple. And she's holding an Israeli flag, and here comes somebody, rips it away from her and spray paints her. So they're pressing charges. There's no immunity to that. So you got to have that on your record. How's that feel? You know, I mean, no. You get to face the consequences. Well, I don't know why I was out there. Well, next time, maybe think about that.
Right.
And so we're not going to, for anything, I don't think we want the University of Illinois or anywhere else. It's a completely organized deal across campuses all over America. Well, you just can't, from the river to the sea, you can't do that. We're not going to do it against Muslims. We're not going to do it against Jewish people. We're not going to do it against Christians, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to have hate. You're a hater, right?
Well, it sure isn't fair to the students who have worked so hard. They're in the zone. They want to complete their semester without these disturbances. And all of a sudden now they're facing all this. It was such a big disappointment for those thousands of runners involved in the 5K.
And keep in mind, double it, because you got family that are coming.
Yes.
They're watching it. They're taking part in an event that Jan Seeley and others spent 365 days planning.
Right.
And you're going to let the tail wag the dog. And so that's what my initial knee-jerk.
Right.
But then I'm going, okay, Stevie J, if you're in charge of this, okay, the race is going. The race starts in an hour. We don't have a lot of time to reroute.
That's right.
You have the volunteer station. I mean, this is an unbelievably coordinated effort.
I think it was a block away from where the 5K would have run through, and there were security issues because, look, everybody's now having to go to this alma mater location for the protest and not be on their security duty for the 5K.
Yeah, they had 60 U of I police. I mean, darn near their whole department.
Yeah.
They had to go down there, and then they were calling in help from other places. So the timing of it was there's just not enough time to react properly to secure people. So as I thought more about it, I'm going, if I'm in that chair, I don't think I want to put the runners. I would totally have done it if you could avoid the area, but it's too late.
Yeah.
You got an hour. And there's all these people. So anyway, that was very disappointing, but good work getting it done. I like the fact that you're going to get expelled. All these other things could happen to you. I appreciated the Chancellor Robert Jones doing that. And then things calmed down. We got something at 11:30 at night. Grace ran the marathon, and so that's why we were so involved. It's the first time I've been involved, really, as far as getting down in there. Normally on a Saturday when the marathon's in town, I just avoid everything. But we got in and out, trying to see Grace in several points. But the thing was impeccably run, in my opinion. I just thought this is just a gigantic effort to run all those different races in our town and to do it so effectively.
And we were in Savoy. Enjoy Savoy, embrace the race is something I kept saying on the mic as I played my DJ music, and we had a barbershop quartet called Timepiece that was performing also. There were 3 entertainment stops in Savoy for miles 20 through 23. We rooted on Grace.
Yep.
I'm glad she made it.
Yeah, she did. She did really, really well. She felt great the whole way. She just had a nice run, and 26.2 is really a long run.
Yes.
So congratulations to everybody who participated. The medals are the real deal.
Yeah.
The medals are the real deal. Beautiful marathon medals that she received.
Chime in with your experience, 359-2255.
Yeah, you might know some stuff I don't. 217-359-2255 on the Fisher National Bank text line. All of our guests appear on the Tapman's Towing phone line. Glad you're listening. This is April 29. I got Wednesday coming up, and that means May. We're into May. Farmers trying to get out in the field coming up, and so hopefully things will dry properly for all of that. All right, we'll break for the news and come right back. It is Monday. Glad you're listening. ESPN 93.5. And again, text in if you want to about the campus, about the weekend, all of those things. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back, 728 ESPN 93.5.
Tapman's Towing, team of experienced tow professionals, is seeking others with CDLs, previous tow experience, and or strong interest in serving others. Please visit our career page at tapmanstowing.com.
Relax. Call back 217-359-7293.
We are celebrating today with an outstanding college relations sergeant. Her name is Sam Penland. You are working, making people safe, helping people, talking to people, and you're giving a positive influence like you received. What do you want people to know finally about police?
I think because people often see me and I appear to look young, they don't realize that I've been in policing since 2004. And so when I came in, policing tactics were very different. There has been a huge shift. And the reason why I really focus on my style now is because I have seen hard policing and what works. And so some people might think, oh, well, you're too soft, or we're not fighting crime the way we used to. We are. This doesn't mean that we're not enforcing laws, but there's a difference now with how we can help people.
Relax. Call back 217-359-7293.
What does the Apple Dumpling Restaurant offer?
The Apple Dumpling serves up homemade favorites, fried chicken, sandwiches, delicious chicken and noodles, beef and noodles, meatloaf, all kinds of comfort food.
And of course, the apple dumpling with a scoop of ice cream, perhaps.
Visit this community treasure if you're looking for great people, great atmosphere, and great food in Urbana.
The Apple Dumpling Restaurant, open Tuesdays through Saturdays with a lunch buffet on Sundays. On High Cross Road in Urbana, you can look up the Apple Dumpling on Facebook.
Yeah, congratulations to Christie Clinic. They're the main sponsor, Christie Clinic Illinois Marathon. Gracie got a kind of a rub, and it's kind of a stretch after the race that was very helpful. They had a lot of physical therapists there. They did a great job. Christy did. Okay, the news now coming up. News, sports, weather, all coming up. Anthony Russo, The Truth Shall Set You Free podcast will be next. Stand by.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Death and devastation in Oklahoma from a tornado.
At least one person was killed in a bar with several people also trapped inside. 2 more lives were taken in Holdenville, one being a 4-month-old baby, and a 4th person killed on I-35 near Marietta. The damage spans across 12 counties here in Oklahoma.
Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell in Sulphur. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken in the capital Saudi Arabia urging Hamas to grab a ceasefire deal on the table.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel.
Secretary Blinken crediting Israel measurable progress, humanitarian situation in Gaza, but wants it to do more. And former President Trump on Truth Social this morning, right? Stop the protests now, but students at GW University, they're not listening. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign community came together Sunday honoring 2 local workers who lost their lives while on the job. Brandon Hardway and Kevin Pelham were recognized at Dodds Park in Champaign. Their names added to the park's memorial. Hardway was the GM at Poor Brothers Craft Tap Room in downtown Champaign. Pelham, a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 51. Pro-Palestine protest at the University of Illinois campus early Friday with no planned end. Demonstration said they'd leave when their demands were met or they were forced to leave. Police broke up the protest, citing campus policies prohibiting camping tents and other structures from being erected on campus. Home sales in Champaign County down from the beginning of this year. For March this year, 176 home units sold compared to 209 units sold in March last year, according to the Champaign County Association of Realtors. Home sales down the first quarter of the year at 4.5%. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Thank you, Jim. Our weather this morning brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
They remind you they've got their FlexiPass sale going on. Would you like to try out some sample classes? It's going on now through May 3rd. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois, Champaign and Van vicinity, and another round of rainfall making its way across the area this morning. Next in a string of these weather systems to move on through with another pop-up rain chance later this afternoon and evening time. A couple of days worth of mild to warm weather. Next frontal system on the move over Thursday and Friday. No real cooler, cold air in sight. We'll recover nicely for the weekend, and another window of opportunity trying to evolve here, coming off some significant rains. More than an inch to 2 over the past couple of days across the area. That dry time over the weekend extends into early next week. The day today, mostly cloudy, some shower activity around this morning and back in spotty coverage this afternoon. 73 the high. Winds will shift westerly early on tonight. A stray shower chance this evening. Decrease in clouds at 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and 75. Partly sunny, 80 on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, a couple of showers and thunderstorms around at 85 on Thursday. Will cool to 73 on Friday. Weekend highs to the mid-70s with a fair amount of sunshine, too. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Big bad guy, Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
He's the political analyst, host of the Truth Will Set You Free podcast, our friend Anthony Russo, Fort Worth, Texas. How are you doing, Anthony?
Doing fantastic. How about you?
Well, protest at our campus here at the University of Illinois over the weekend. Who's funding this?
That's a great question. That was the last question I just had. There's obviously everybody whispers Soros. But there was the Chinese nationalists, I believe. We had this discussion a week ago on my podcast, and I can't remember exactly who we nailed it down to. But there was Soros funding, and then there was one other Chinese-sided funding. And you can't tell me that it's not organized by a bigger power. That all of a sudden, all of these college campuses had the exact same thing pop up, all within a couple days of each other, all over the country, and tell me that this was not funded by somebody. You have to think that there was a bigger play on the organization level.
But is it not impressive that you can coordinate? You'd have people you hire for probably pretty large money that are able to get into each campus. I mean, I don't know how many campuses were affected, 800? I mean, there's a lot. So, I mean, we had it here, disrupted a big marathon weekend for us here because bus loads are coming in. Again, those buses are $1,000 each. Just an amazing amount of money is being poured in here, and the coordination of having the coordinators and the agitators, or whatever we're going to call them. But it's and they're demanding things that, divest from Israel, or we're not leaving. Immunity for all of us, or we're not leaving. What are you talking about?
They have no idea.
What in the world are you talking about? We're not giving you immunity. You can't have immunity. Sorry.
Yeah, they have no idea how actual geopolitics or even our own politics work, but they're going to scream at the top of their lungs. And what's interesting is it takes decent funding. It takes funding and organization. What it does is it's kind of like the movie Zoolander, if anybody remembers that, where there's like that one word that all of a sudden activates the person to kill the prime minister of Malaysia. So our word was genocide, and I knew it. And I'm like, we're going to keep saying this genocide word. And here's the thing: they're going to have paid protesters that are organizers. I'm not going to say protesters, paid organizers. That all they have to do is get something going on campus, get it started, and you're going to have a bunch of kids that have been seeing all this stuff on TikTok and YouTube or wherever. They've been seeing it in mainstream media about what's happening to the Palestinian people and how sad it is. And then they hear genocide, and now there's a cause. So that's how it's activated. So it takes a few leaders that are paid, and then, of course, some resources that those leaders have access to, and a bunch of college kids that don't know any better because all they've done has been brainwashed by the trigger words in the last few months.
It's interesting.
Anthony, I just had a text in essentially talking about how law enforcement's hands are tied to try to enforce when things like protests happen because of the administration that's paying them and telling them what to do. And, it's trespassing. It's obstructing traffic. It's all these things that are against the law. Why aren't we just hauling people away? What's your reaction to all that?
Well, it's funny. You said, trespassing and breaking traffic. How about not allowing Jewish students to go to class like it's 1940-something? It's insane to me. And I'm half Jewish, but I'm Christian by faith. And it's like I look at what's happening, and the fact that we have managed to flip the script on this narrative is absolutely mind-boggling to me. It's scary to think that you've got there. Well, you know what? Our hands are tied. It's they're allowed to protest, yes, but their protests are causing schools to have to tell Jewish students to go do online classes the rest of the year. And some of these places that are $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a year, and for the last month they're going to be taking online classes in the United States of America because they're afraid to go to class. Like, this is a next level of words that I can't say on the radio. It's awful.
Well, what if just say everything was flipped and we were doing this to the Muslims? What do you think the reaction would be?
Well, that's the thing. We look at 9/11. After that, there was definitely some Muslim hate in this country. And the thing is, it was so brief because Americans, I don't know if it's different because of social media at the time, could realize that we had elevated ourselves to where we're not cruel to other people. And yes, there was some Islamophobia and different things, but it was highlighted more by the media. I saw a lot of, when I would go to New York, and all these people still had a lot of brotherly love with each other. And the Muslims, I think they knew they were wearing a lot of American gear because they're like, look, trust me, we're on the same side.
Yeah,
We don't support that. This is very different. This is just a whole bunch of different ideologies that have been mashed together because, I hate to say it, because of social media. Whereas I don't think it goes the other direction anymore because we're so afraid of the minority groups and this, that, and the other, and we're making sure we're padding the rooms for them. But at the same time, somehow we've just painted this. Well, we're less than 100 years out of the Holocaust, but we've painted this X on the back of Jewish people.
So, is the answer okay? That's coming down immediately. Okay, you're not allowed to essentially say "river to the sea" and you're going to hope all Jews die. Death to America. Is that part of free speech? Is that a First Amendment issue, or is it to the point of causing destruction?
I actually, as much as I hate to hear it, it is part of free speech until it gets dangerous. Until it's to the point, if there's, this is what our police and our government are there for. They have to escort, if they have to pay tax dollars, unfortunately, even though we're going against what I believe organized crime, but we have to actually make sure these students can get to class if they feel protected, whatever that takes, whatever resources that is, because that's what happened when black students would go to high schools and colleges during the 1960s when they started to break the lines on that. They were protected. They had to use that kind of resource. That's where we're at now. They are allowed to protest. Unfortunately, this is something they're allowed to do. I'm a big proponent of free speech, and if protesting works, great. Unfortunately, they're misinformed, but they're allowed to be misinformed. So there has to be safe passage. I can't believe I'm saying safe passage. There has to be safe passage for those that feel as though they're being threatened.
There was a state trooper, I thought it was in Texas. He was trying to take a guy out to the squad car or whatever, had him by the arm, and the guy just kind of crumbles on the ground, and then he picks him up by the leg and the arm. The guy's screaming. He's actually screaming. And he's...
Did you see the pager? Did you see the pager fall? I don't know if it's the police officers or when you're talking about who's organizing this, that guy was going, help me, he's hurting me.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
So there's a pager, there's a beeper that falls on the ground. And if it's not the police officers, which I don't know if they still carry pagers, I don't think they do, that would lead me to go, and I just talked about this on the last show, that would lead me to go, okay, that really screams of organization.
Yep.
There's no 20-something-year-old kid that has a pager.
Yeah, and that's the other part. You're hurting me lawsuit, right? I mean,
Right.
that's what,
Right.
It's just, it is dizzying.
Well, and we had a text in saying, here they're chanting death to America in some of these demonstrations, but yet on the other side, they want the forgiveness of their student loans.
Yeah, and by the way, no immunity, Anthony. I've already ruled on that. Sorry. Come on.
Yeah, and then you've got, when violence breaks out, absolutely they should be arrested. When things get rough, things should be arrested. When they're defacing property, things should be arrested. Like Alex Primetime Stein was in one of the college campuses in Texas this week. I think he was even in Austin. And he was at a Gays for Palestine, or some. It was an LGBTQ for Palestine, which, of course, is making a joke out of if you know who Alex Stein is. And he actually got, on video, got accosted. He got thrown to the ground. That, to me, is somebody that should be arrested. If there's a physical altercation, that's where you're now breaking the law. If you're just chanting things that sound stupid to me, you're allowed to sound stupid to me. But when it gets physical, you have to stop.
Yeah. So as far as the negotiating with these like Columbias and things like that, is that not ridiculous? We're not negotiating with them calling the National Guard.
Yeah, and I think some college campuses have. I've seen a lot of police presence. I've seen a lot of. I don't know if I've seen National Guard presence, but it's the universities are damned if they do, damned if they don't, and they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But the politicians are the ones that actually could be stepping up and saying, one thing or another. Mike Johnson went to Columbia University and started speaking on behalf of the Jewish students. Ilhan Omar said, "You're stirring things up." I'm like, I don't think really protecting Jewish students at this point is stirring things up after things have been stirred up for the last week. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. So
Does it calm down because people drop their beepers, or how's this ultimately calm right now, do you think, Anthony?
There has to be another bigger issue, like another bigger story, another bigger, like this. It's calming down. It sounds like they're I think the college kids that have been activated by these planners or whoever it is, they're going to get tired. They're going to go back to class. That was their flavor of the week or flavor of the month. But I think it's already starting to wane, especially once you see a couple kids get arrested, a couple things happening. It's probably just going to start to fizzle its way out. But it did its duty. It literally got it to the point where Jewish kids are not going to be, in many schools, not going to be going to school for the rest of the year, which is absolutely insane.
Terrible.
So they did what they needed to do.
Well, we're in finals already at the U of I, but this is like reading day coming up Thursday or something, so they're just about done. But all these folks that did something wrong, like spray paint a friend of mine,
yes,
they're going to have charges against them that will stay with them and be on their record, which is appropriate. So it's whatever you want to do, but you're right. So many of these folks have no idea what they're doing. Well, none. But they're part of the movement because there's a real, I think even more than ever, Anthony, of an underlying feel of purpose. People really looking for purpose. Why am I here? What should I do to help? Then they find something they think they have and they grab onto it and go crazy.
And they've been taught that the American dream and the idea of America is not something to believe in anymore, so they have to find something else.
Yeah. Anthony Russo, how can people find your podcast?
Truth will set you free USA on all the podcast platforms and, of course, social media as well.
Hey, nice having you again. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Take it easy.
Anthony Russo, RUSSO, Tapman's Towing phone line. All the texts coming in on the Fisher National Bank text line 217-359-2255. You have anything to add to the cancellation of the 5K on Friday? Texter coming to our phone, Diane, about they thought the marathon
experience Saturday was amazing. They were a block away from where the gentleman had a heart attack, and response time to everyone involved was just unbelievable.
I saw the ambulance. I saw that.
Okay.
That was what was going on. I saw it screaming by. Okay. Was it a runner that had a...
I'm not sure,
okay. Anyway,
but thanks for sharing that. 359-2255. Also heard that George and Mary Lemming have their 56th anniversary today, so congratulations to them. Very involved in the CU Elks Club, so thanks to Mary and George. Congratulations.
All right, so we had a lot of volunteers, and we talked to a few of them, and they're just happy. They thought it was fun to kind of watch at a particular corner, making sure the runners go the right way, and then you had plenty of law enforcement support as well across the whole thing. But it's just imagine you're trying to coordinate that. What was Mr. Custer telling us last week, that there are at least
400 meetings.
400 meetings.
And I hope to have Chris later today. He said maybe Tuesday would be better, Diane. And I'm like, well, but it's a hot topic right now. I know you want the day off and you want to try to rest and drink an umbrella drink from a coconut. But we really want to hear your summary, especially after that 5K and that quick pivot and having to just cancel it. I know that he was well versed in all of that, and I wanted Chris Custer's reaction to that. So that could come up inside the hour here on ESPN 93.5.
All right, 7:48. Quick check of your morning sports coming now. Diane Ducey
went to fightingillini.com and saw the Illini finish second in the Big Ten championship. Did you happen to catch any Illini golf?
Did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they had won for 8 consecutive Big Ten championships. So NCAA tournament selection will be coming up on, I believe, Wednesday. Of course, the NFL draft is what we were talking about on Friday, coming into all the excitement. I did catch a little of that. Well, actually, Thursday and Friday.
Johnny Newton was a big one.
36 overall, drafted by Washington's Commanders. And then
Keith Randolph is going to be a Bear, Chicago Bear.
Okay.
Tip Ryman went to Arizona.
And so did Isaiah Adams. Both for Arizona. And then Casey Washington with Atlanta.
6th round. And Isaiah Williams did not get picked up, but he has a free agent work with... The team slips my mind. Julian Pearl did not get drafted as well, and I think he's still looking. Now, everybody, just to give you an idea, everybody whose name was called is a millionaire. Everybody. All 7 rounds.
Wow.
The free agent signings, typically, I thought they were $25,000. $750,000. Just to get
We're a little out of the loop on these.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute on the money. So Tip Ryman, who was a Illinois tight end, I saw him at CU Church on Sundays. I said, I kind of wish they'd throw the ball anymore. Tip, things happen. He was just always so pleasant. He's a married man. Tip's going to have at least $15 million. 10 to 15 at least. It's based on position. The top guy got $38 million. Most of all of this is signing bonuses.
Yeah.
And then your salary's a couple of million. I'm saying a couple of million. That's just what it is. So when no wonder they're crying when they get their name called. Financially, they should be good. Anyway, it's exciting for these young men from the University of Illinois, and it's quite a show. They think 270,000 people were in Detroit for the draft on the first night.
That's crazy.
In the
when I
streets,
saw
going
that,
all over.
when I saw the over the sky shot kind of thing from the drone, I'm like, wow, Motor City's throwing a party right there. That would have been fun. Shauna Green active with trying to obtain some players for the women's basketball team in the portal. Jasmine Brown Hagar just reading more about Tenon Magassa, who's 6'6", from Mazur-sur-Orge, France.
I think we've got a Georgie Bichanzvili moment.
Okay.
I think the kid from Evansville is committed to us.
Okay.
And I don't know how to say his name yet, but he's 6'9".
Okay.
He shoots the three like crazy and can rebound.
Okay.
So another good piece for Brad. I think that's the fifth one. And I'll be surprised if we don't get 2 or 3 more. And we still haven't heard from Orlando Antigua, who's out there recruiting as I speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll hear 1 or 2 from Orlando.
Okay, very good. Well, the Mets beat the St. Louis Cardinals 4-2 in 11 innings. Detroit at the 5:40 start here on ESPN 93.5.
Weather brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
They remind you they have their door special in April. A few more days. If you've been looking at getting a proposal on your door, do it now. KramerSiding.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign event vicinity and a round or two of significant rainfall over the weekend. The northern extent of some of that severe weather that swept through areas of the deep southern plains and southeastern states. Now, this next weather system weakening one as it makes its way out east. Some shower activity around and ending this morning by mid-morning, and then a pop-up shower chance this afternoon. Even an evening thunderstorm in just 1 or 2 spots, but the bulk of the rain moving on out. Decreasing clouds for tonight, but a lot of cloudiness for the day today, up to 73. Winds around westerly for tonight and 53. Tomorrow mostly sunny and 75. Will warm to 80 on Wednesday. And Thursday and Friday, next round of good coverage showers and thunderstorms across the area. 85 on Thursday, back into the mid-70s on Friday. Dry weather for the weekend should extend well into early to mid next week. A window of opportunity there. 75 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday, mid to upper 70s next Monday and Tuesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm Greg Solgay.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change your car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at erieinsurance.com. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Next week on an all-new Law & Order. Order! We convene here for case 217, Spring Green versus Weeds. Spring Green, the floor is yours. The weeds are infectious. The weeds steal the beauty from your lawn. We offer personalized lawn care, a mid-season checkup, and a simple and transparent process. Just click on to spring-green.com for a quote. Okay, Spring Green wins. Weeds, you're out. That's spring-green.com. Have you ever looked at a junk truck and said, man, that truck is pretty? 2 men in a junk truck. Trucks are pretty. They're pretty big, so they can handle large jobs. They're pretty reliable. 2 Men in a Truck has been recognized as a trusted leader in the moving industry for over 35 years. Now we are proud to offer that same reliability to junk removal, and they're pretty fast. When you're ready to let some things go and that you don't need, you don't want to wait 3 weeks. You want it gone now. Go to 2meninAjunkTruck.com and make room for what matters most. Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
All right, the men's golf, Mike Small's team gets second. They made a push yesterday. They could not catch Northwestern, who was 15 shots ahead of our Illini. So we're second. We're going to the NCAAs. This will probably be the year we win the national championship. That's how it works. But yeah, no, it was Jackson Buchanan got second in the tournament.
Okay.
Just we're used to winning everything. But second is, again, pretty dang good when you've won 8 in a row.
Illinois baseball, Purdue at number 1, Illinois at number 2. Our conference record, both at 11-4.
Wow. Okay. So baseball with Dan Hartley, they're having a really good season. We want to see if we can win the thing and host the Big Ten. It'd be awesome. Very, very cool. Okay. And again,
any comments about the marathon experience or the whole race weekend at 359-2255?
Yep. From our perspective as fans and just spectators, I thought it was extremely well run. What I don't quite understand, I got to ask Mike Lindeman at Body and Soul this question, maybe somebody knows, is when they start the race, they put the front people that are going to have better times on the front, which makes sense. They kind of place you, they did a wave start.
Yes.
So depending on where you think you're going to go per mile,
that's right.
You get in that particular chute. But when the clock starts and the first guy goes, and I think the winner was, I thought, a Champaign teacher.
Jamie Marcos at the age of 25.
Okay, he ran 2:28, I think, something like that. And the women's winner was like 2:57. And so when the clock starts, and so Jamie Marcos is going to finish, and you see his time on the board in the Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
How does that work when Grace didn't start till 7:43?
Right.
So her time. How do we know what her time? I don't know how they do that because it's a staggered start, but you start the clock and the first guy comes. How do you know what the real time? Because the others weren't running for 15 minutes.
But they have a chip in their bib, right? So maybe that's...
Yes, but what is the clock that's reading ticking off in the stadium?
Right.
What's that mean? Does that mean from the 7:30 point?
Right.
I don't get it. And there again, this is why you wouldn't have me organize a race. Okay, everybody line up. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. No, I'm sorry. Do it again. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, it's a lot. And I think, again, there's so many people that donated a few hours of help. And why do we do this? Why? Attract people to come to our town, see our great campus. And so we had disruptions, which obviously hampered that effort from the standpoint of this University of Illinois. Because we had, how many people came to Champaign that have never been here? Thousands? Thousands of them. So it's good economically. It's good to be on the map. It's good to have something others don't. No, I get it. I think it's an extraordinary, ginormous effort that you worry about for a whole year. And now they'll probably start planning in a week.
You're right.
April 24, 25, 26, I think it's next year already.
Okay.
2025.
Okay.
But I tell you what, you see those people doing this, and there's so many, and they really do appreciate it. There's so many people with ear pods now, so they don't really hear you.
I know.
But the ones that didn't have it, you
That's
saw
right.
them. I tried. You're doing
and
great.
I liked when the bib had their name in bold print.
Come on,
at the
Tyler,
top.
you're doing great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for my niece Leah doing the half, Jamie Marcos is from Charleston.
Okay.
His pace was 5:43, and his time was 2:29:46.
Okay.
He's the one that won.
Yeah. No, it's
moving to town in June.
Okay, yeah, maybe starting a teaching job or something. No, it was a ginormous effort, and thank you to everybody who put this thing on for our community. And but it gets your juices going, thinking, man, could I do that? Could I run that? And it's a long way. All right, the news coming up next. We're excited about a Larry and Elena Camphor tour coming up you might be interested in. Escape the ordinary and embark on an unforgettable adventure with Stevie Jay Travel with Larry and Elena Camphor. Hi, it's Stevie Jay. Picture yourself aboard a small yacht departing from the enchanting city of Dubrovnik, Croatia. As the gentle breeze carries the scent of the Adriatic Sea, you'll set sail toward the captivating Dalmatian Islands. Over 10 magnificent days, immerse yourself in the Mediterranean lifestyle where every moment is a celebration of beauty and tranquility. Explore hidden coves, swim in crystal clear waters, and stroll through seaside villages. With Stevie Jay Travel, every detail is taken care of, from luxurious accommodations to delectable onboard dining experiences. Relax on deck as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. This is more than a cruise. It's a journey of discovery and delight. Escape to paradise with Stevie Jay Travel. Visit StevieJayTravel.com. That's StevieJayTravel.com for details. Your Mediterranean adventure awaits. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Another attempt to stop the war in Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken pushing for that ceasefire in Saudi Arabia today. Then he'll go to Israel again. Still warning against Israel's planned ground invasion of Rafah, an area of Gaza filled with civilians. Israeli airstrikes there overnight killed at least 22 Palestinians. Attacks students here keep protesting. That's at UCLA in California, where pro and anti-Israel demonstrators clashed. The protests have spread to college campuses nationwide, demanding their schools cut ties with Israel. Fox's Brian Yennis reports from Columbia and New York City.
They are also demanding universal amnesty. They don't want to receive any punishment or discipline from the university at all, period, for participating in these protests. The university is asking students to self-identify themselves and attest to following university rules in the future, but even that is not something the protesters seem willing to do. Columbia University President Manoush Shafiq has promised the protesters there won't be any lockdowns or evictions of the encampment, and vowed the NYPD will not be called onto campus again to make arrests.
NATO's leaders gone to Kyiv, saying countries have failed to deliver on promises to help Ukraine battle Russia after a long delay in new U.S. military aid and questions about European assistance as Russian forces advance, pushing Ukrainian troops to retreat from 3 more villages in the east. Parts of Oklahoma are in tatters after weekend tornadoes, including a baby killed among the 4 people dead. The small city of Sulphur hit hard, the downtown just about gone. Governor Kevin Stitt tells Fox.
Just unbelievable. But Oklahomans are coming together. The Red Cross was there. People from all over the state are coming together to help.
Someone in Iowa also died after storms there. America's listening to Fox News.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
The elites want more control through digital currencies in a cashless society. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I believe gold is the answer to safeguard your wealth, especially if you own your gold inside of a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting SHELTER to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, so text SHELTER to the number 989898 to claim your free info kit today.
Message and data rates may apply.
3 police officers are recovering in Louisiana the day after they were shot.
A violent standoff in suburban New Orleans ended Sunday afternoon with a rifle shot from a sheriff's department sniper, killing 31-year-old Matthew Lathers, who police say shot and wounded 3 police officers and 2 other men outside a home in Kenner, Louisiana. Lathers was wanted for an armed robbery earlier in the week in which another man was shot.
Fox's Jack Callahan. A woman goes on trial today in Massachusetts in the death of a cop.
Karen Reed of Mansfield, Massachusetts, is being tried for the 2022 murder of her police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe. The 2 were out at bars and planned to attend a party on a night in January of that year. O'Keefe went missing after exiting the car. It was snowing. Reed is believed to have made a 3-point turn, and police say she hit him with the vehicle and left him to freeze to death while suffering from injuries. But Reed's defense attorney insists police, the victim's fellow officers, are covering up a different story. Reed's supporters often show up outside of court to protest her trial. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Stocks could keep rising on Wall Street. Futures up modestly after gains last week, the best week of the year for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. In the NBA playoffs, Phoenix is the first team out, KO'd by Minnesota.
Edwards. Oh, Edwards! A signature slam!
Anthony Edwards scored 40 points to lead the Timberwolves to a 122-116 win on TNT, sweeping the Suns. The LA Clippers tied their series with Dallas. New York beat Philadelphia. Indiana topped Milwaukee. The Knicks and Pacers both up 3-1. In the NHL playoffs, the New York Rangers finished off a sweep of Washington. Edmonton shut out Los Angeles. Colorado beat Winnipeg. Vancouver edged Nashville in overtime. So the Oilers and the Avalanche and the Canucks all have 3-1 series leads. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Home sales in Champaign County down from the beginning of this year. For March this year, 176 home units sold compared to 209 units sold in March last year, according to the Champaign County Association of Realtors. Home sales down the first quarter of the year at 4.5%. Champaign community came together Sunday honoring two local workers who lost their lives while on the job. Brandon Hardway and Kevin Pelham were recognized at Dodds Park in Champaign. Their names added to the park's memorial. Hardway was the GM at Poor Brothers Craft Tap Room in downtown Champaign. Pelham, a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 51. Pro-Palestine protest at the University of Illinois campus early Friday with no planned end. Demonstration said they'd leave when their demands were met or when they were forced to leave. Police broke up the protest, citing campus policies prohibiting camping tents and other structures from being erected on campus. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim. 806 ESPN 93.5. The happiness topic is what we're talking about here coming up in just a couple of moments. It's hitting middle age more than anybody. It's interesting.
Okay.
Meteorologist Greg Solier. He's a learned guy, got a kind of weather station when he was 12, and he never looked back, baby. He never.
There you go.
Our weather.
And it's up in the office here, sir.
Still has it.
It is.
Still have my Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Okay, then.
My sixth
There you
grade.
go.
Yeah, of course. Look at the difference. You're a scientist, and well, here I am. Our weather this morning brought to you by State Farm Insurance and Kurt Lenschow. Like a good neighbor, Kurt and State Farm are there. Well, sir, kind of a rainy weekend. What looks to be coming up here?
Yeah, we've had as much as 1 to almost 3 inches of rain over a wide area of east central Illinois and western Indiana. Some spots pushing 5 out towards the Illinois, 2 to 4 up into areas from Kankakee on northward. And this is the eastern, more diluted impacts of some of the severe weather with tornado activity, destruction into parts of southern Iowa and Nebraska, southward all the way to Oklahoma City over the past weekend. So at least we missed out on that stuff. But many field as wet, and these windows of opportunity will begin to materialize on a more broader based scenario over the weekend and into early next week as well. And in the shorter term of it all, still some rain to make its way east of 57 west there. Well, the skies are beginning to break a little bit in a couple of spots, but that will be quite limited as in sunshine for the day today. 59 now at Willard and Savoy on a west southwesterly wind that'll be a bit gusty, shift more west northwest as the front comes through during the course late afternoon, early on this evening. So most of the organized rains east of Champaign out of the next hour or two break, and then some hit and miss prospects later on this afternoon and this evening, but real spotty at best. We'll be looking at temps for the day today that top out across the area, but around about 73, a few degrees above average, down tonight to 53. Normal for the time of year. Clouds break after an evening shower. Tomorrow mostly sunny and a partly sunny Wednesday, up to about 75 tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday. A couple of showers and thunderstorms Thursday and Friday. We're into the 80s of more humidity on Thursday, 73 on Friday, then about 4 or 5 days of opportunity here with weekend highs mid-70s into the upper 70s next Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday next week will close in on 80 degrees. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, ESPN 93.5. I am Stevie Jay. That is Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
We're happy to welcome to the program Rudy Ricksteins. Rudy, how are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Sound happy? Good for you. He's a leadership visionary, business mentor, and coach. Top 5 business coach, top 20 thought leader. Rudy, nice going, man.
I like it.
That's awesome. All right.
Thank
A
you.
new
Thank you,
study published in the Journal of American Psychologists found that in the U.S., Generation X and baby boomers are suffering more from the loneliness epidemic than their European counterparts. How come, Rudy? Why?
You know, I actually think that everybody in every age group is really suffering loneliness. It's just those categories that we're seeing in the United States. People are being a little more vocal, and they're wanting to see a greater change or shift in their life. And this really, I believe, spurred from COVID. So many people during the period of COVID went into their lives and started looking at, do I like my job? Do I like my marriage? Do I like my bank account? Am I happy where I am? And I'm wanting to create a change. And it's put a spotlight on the areas that are not working. And so many people today, especially in North America, are wanting to live a different life or experiencing something very, very different. And so it has really put this magnifying glass on the areas that are not working. And that's where the unhappiness comes from, the unfulfillment, the loneliness factor.
What'd COVID do to me?
Yes, very much so. You know, that feeling of like, is this where I want to be or what it is that I want to be doing? What I want to share with your listeners this morning is that for anyone that is feeling that loneliness, that separation from where they are versus where they want to be, there is something that they can do that is so easy that's going to create a profound shift in how they feel and how they show up in life. And that is in the very first 20 minutes of the day. If you're waking up and the first thing that you're doing is touching your cell phone, reading your email, looking at your bank account, going onto Instagram, Facebook, any form of social media, and you're looking for external validation for your life, it is going to, again, give you the magnifying glass that makes you feel less fulfilled, makes you feel unworthiness. It reminds you you're here, but what you want is over there. And in the very first 20 minutes of the day, the brain is the most susceptible to change and influence. And if you're going to find something that is giving you outside stimulation that makes you feel unworthy or unhappy or lonely, then it's going to make you feel that way for the rest of the day. But the reverse is also true. If you woke up and in the first 20 minutes, and I teach a process called priming, where you take the first 20 minutes of your day and you curate a heightened emotional state of joy, fulfillment, freedom, love, connection, acceptance, abundance. And if you felt any of those emotions in the first 20 minutes, and you created those feelings inside of you, in your mind, your body would set an emotional state, and that is how you would feel the rest of the day. The important thing for people to know is that thoughts produce feelings, thoughts and feelings drive behavior. So many people are doing behavioral things to change their life, and all they need to do is change the thought or the feeling, and in the first 20 minutes, it's going to give you a catapult of power to create that change if you were just to do that in the first 20 minutes using the brain mapping.
Rudy, I think what you're saying is put my phone down, or not even have. I just think the thing, I was on this several years ago where I didn't think a person under 18 should get a cell phone. It's a smartphone. If you have a cell phone, call people and text mom to pick you up. I like all that, but I think overall it is a net loss having a phone. I do.
It most certainly doesn't serve you, especially in the very first 20 minutes of the day. Think about the stimulation that comes through your phone. You can't control what's coming to you. Even if you're picking which site you're going to, you don't know what information is coming through. And if you were to feel a negative emotion around that, your brain is going to say, we're going to focus only in on that feeling. We're going to only look for evidence of where that is true, and we're going to continue to think and feel the same way. And that's why people's lives look and feel the same, because they're doing the same thing day after day, feeling the same day after day.
I think what we ought to do is try and start with, instead of 4 hours and 50 minutes a day, maybe shoot for 3 hours and 50 minutes a day. Listen, this is a full-blown addiction. Whether anybody wants to believe it or not, we have a struggle if we don't have our phone. We do.
All we need to do is not even reduce the 4 hours. You could even increase that time if you changed the very beginning of your day, because that changes the formula of the brain. The brain is the most susceptible to change and influence in the first 20 minutes of the day. So if you woke up and in the first 20 minutes you didn't touch your phone, you didn't talk to your spouse, you didn't look at your bank accounts, you didn't focus on the areas that were not working, you focus on what it is you do want, you focus on feeling joy, fulfillment, freedom, any of those, even if you looked in areas of your life where you could feel gratitude or abundance or happiness, and then you focus on that feeling and you feel it, the brain's going to say, this is where we want to be. And then it's going to set that state for the rest of the day, so that when you're on social media, when you're on your phone later, your brain is not going to be trapped by it. And so you'll be able to put it down faster. You'll be able to create connection with people faster. This is the loneliness pandemic. And the only way to create connection with people, which is the number one driver of human behavior, every single person on the planet simply just wants connection. We think we want money. We want all these other things. We really just want connection. And the only way to get connection is to have vulnerability between two people. And we cannot have vulnerability between two people when we're staring at our cell phones in the very beginning of the day, because it creates that ripple effect throughout the rest of our day.
A whole bunch of days. In fact, I try and do every single day before I come in here, Rudy. I'm in the Bible. So I'm not doing the early stuff. I do it later. I'm on the phone a lot later. But yes, I've passed that test. I'm telling you, it's a problem, but I don't see us getting out of it anytime soon. I think we're getting more hooked on more things that are easier. AI is helping us now. There's just a lot of technology, but you're right. We have to have humans.
We do. The number one thing we all want is just connection with another human being. And it's that simple. And if we could just create that connection and have a vulnerable moment, we will be the happiest, most joyful, abundant people. And I would challenge your listeners to right here today, just stop doing what you're doing and find somebody to create a connection with.
Rudy Rickstein, Rickstins. How can people find you, connect with you, Rudy?
I am on all social platforms at Rudy Ricksteins or at my website, rudyricksteins.com. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
I appreciate having you on, and you said a lot of smart things. Really appreciate it. Rudy is spelled R-U-D-I. Ricksteins is R-I-E-K-S-T-I-N-S. I'll connect with him. On the Tapman's Towing phone line, ESPN 93.5 at 8:16. Diane Ducey with sports headlines.
Lots of different texts coming in at 359-2255, and especially about some of the marathon experience with Jamie Marcos out of Charleston, 25-year-old, winning in the men's category, and Alexis Dorsey from Champaign winning on the women's side at 2:57.58. I didn't jot down Jamie's time, but I think we did talk about it earlier today.
Jamie Marcos was 2:29.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like 26 seconds or something like that.
Right.
So really awesome that we had people from East Central Illinois winning in those big categories.
Yeah. No, people from all over around. I mean, I saw somebody in England. I don't know if they were here, probably not specifically for our race, but never know. A lot of people from all over the Midwest came. So really, really neat. If you look, the News Gazette is complete of who was here and where they're from and everything else. A lot of people came from hotels and restaurants. Should have done well.
Terrific. Now, I did see some texts coming in after we were talking about the NFL draft with Johnny Newton going to the Washington Commanders as the 36th overall pick, and 2 to Arizona with Isaiah Adams and Tip Ryman. And we had Atlanta scooping up number 187, Casey Washington. Here's a text in about Isaiah signing with Detroit.
Detroit, that's who it was. Yeah.
And then also some comments about Ben Humrikas.
Here's how you remember it. H-U-M, Rich, R-I-C-H.
Okay.
And then H-O-U-S, just O-U-S.
Okay.
At that point. So it's
Humrikas.
Rich, O-U-S.
Okay.
Humriches.
There's been a couple of people texting in, so we get that phonetically, and talking about how he has ties to the area. Humrickhouse was, and then someone else. Humrickhouse. How Derek pronounces it. Says
Bashanzaville. It took me 3 months. We'll get Humrickhouse. Humrickhouse. Right. We'll get it.
So one of our new recruits, his grandfather was the pastor at our church in Tilton near Danville for 21 years.
Wow.
Thank you, Larry, for that comment. Always interesting to interact with you on our Tapman's Towing phone line. We also had the golf team at second in the Big Ten tournament, and the NCAA tournament selection will be coming up later this week. We had Maryland over Illinois in baseball 11-7. They've got a game tomorrow. Illinois women taking on Ohio State and winning yesterday 11-6. And they've got a home game tomorrow against Iowa. Actually, I think that's this weekend. Our St. Louis Cardinals will face Detroit with a 5:40 start, and we'll have the Cubs in action against New York with a 6:40 start over on US 105.9 after Boston came out on top 5-4 yesterday.
Watts Copy Systems offering cost-efficient solutions. Call them for a free look. 217-352-0428. ESPN 93.5 coming up on 8:19. Fox Business will be coming up next.
Saturday, and another round of rainfall making its way across the area this morning. Next in a string of these weather systems to move on through with another pop-up rain chance later this afternoon and evening time. A couple of days worth of mild to warm weather. Next frontal system on the move over Thursday and Friday. No real cooler cold air in sight. We'll recover nicely for the weekend, and another window of opportunity trying to evolve here, coming off some significant rains. More than 1 inch to 2 over the past couple of days across the area. That dry time over the weekend extends into early next week. For the day-to-day, mostly cloudy, some shower activity around this morning and back in spotty coverage this afternoon. 73 the high. Winds will shift westerly early on tonight. A stray shower chance this evening. Decrease in clouds at 53. Tomorrow mostly sunny and 75. Partly sunny 80 on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, a couple of showers and thunderstorms around at 85 on Thursday. Will cool to 73 on Friday. Weekend highs in the mid-70s with a fair amount of sunshine too. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Domino's Pizza shares are up more than 7%. The pizza company's sales, earnings, and revenue came in stronger than Wall Street was predicting, helped by its loyalty program and Uber Eats deliveries. U.S. sales at existing restaurants are up more than 5.5%. Domino's also is giving customers a $3 coupon to use on the following week's online order if they tip their driver. Tesla shares are up more than 12.5%. CEO Elon Musk made a quick trip to China over the weekend, and reports say he has a deal to use self-driving technology in China in a partnership with China's tech company Baidu. There's a bank merger. Denver-based Heartland Financial is being sold to Kansas City's UMB Financial for about $2 billion. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey there, it's me, Kennedy. Make sure to check out my podcast, Kennedy Saves the World. It is 5 days a week. Every week, we check in with Jimmy Fallon, bring in authors for the book club, and even treat some of your favorite Fox personalities to a very special happy hour. Download and listen at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Kennedy Saves the World. America's listening to Fox News.
Well, congratulations to Busey, recognized among America's best banks for 2024 by Forbes. It's the third consecutive year the organization has been recognized on this prestigious list. They ranked 40th overall. Busey, the second-ranked bank headquartered in Illinois, and all 6 Illinois banks included on this year's list. America's best banks, wow. From exceeding the needs of customers and colleagues to serving our communities, Busey associates have shown unmatched dedication to their pillars for more than 155 years. Whatever your financial needs, business and beyond, Busey promises the resources to help you succeed. Stop into one of their many convenient locations. Call 800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com to learn more. Busey, member FDIC. Happy to welcome Champaign Fire Department Chief Andy Quastrom. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
How's this whole chief thing going for you?
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's it's a totally new experience, of course. I'm in my 28th year at the fire department, and I've worked my way up through the ranks, and chief is definitely different than any other rank, but it's been enjoyable and lots of fun challenges.
So you were essentially bottle washer, and look at you now. Come on, man.
I know. Yeah, when I came in the door here in 1997, I surely didn't expect to be where I am, but it's been a fun run.
They didn't have the hockey game at that time, but fire versus police, Champaign really turned out about a month ago to the Illinois Ice Arena, and I had the pleasure of emceeing that event. Do you recall what happened at that hockey game?
I think we won, didn't we?
I think so, too.
Oh, yeah, I reminded the police chief that we did, in fact, win. We, clearly police and fire were very competitive, and I have not played hockey, nor should I be playing hockey, but I did play softball and football back in the day against the cops, and we like to have a lot of fun. It's fun to raise money for a charity, and it's good camaraderie.
All right, Andy Quastrom, Chief of the Champaign Fire Department, the Champaign Exchange Club, along with the Champaign Fire Department, honoring the 2023 Firefighter of the Year recipients. Who are they this year, Andy?
Yeah, so this year we have 3 recipients. We have Lieutenant John Jenkins, Engineer Alex Coker, and Firefighter Brandon Helm.
Tell me what they did to earn this.
Sure. So this is this is the first year that we created a peer review program. So we wanted our firefighters' peers to nominate them and tell us why they think they would be good firefighters of the year. So we had nominations in each rank: officer, engineer, and firefighter. And Lieutenant Jenkins, Engineer Coker, Firefighter Helm all stood out by far through their peers' eyes, as do their leadership, their knowledge, and their support of their fellow employees. And so we had a lot of nominees, and that was very exciting. But it was clear that these three individuals stood out from the crowd, and so we're excited to honor them today.
That's awesome. And it's, these people probably are humble, like most firefighters I know, but they probably really appreciate it, and so do their families.
I think so. Yeah, Lieutenant Jenkins has grown kids who are going to be in town with his grandkids, and so that's very exciting. And Engineer Coker has young kids, so does Firefighter Helm, and so the kids, of course, clearly love to see their parents honored, and their coworkers love to see them honored too. We are a humble group, but you have to give credit where credit's due, and these three individuals are definitely due for the credit.
Sean Manuel went to church with me back in the day at St. Pat's in Tolono. I know he was organizing the benefit for the Benevolent Fund, yes.
Yep.
And that
Yes.
was fun to see you and the gang there. That was successful, right?
It was another great year. Yeah, the Benevolent Fund has been very successful. I think it's in its third year, and clearly its number one goal is to ensure that firefighters in Champaign and across our community are taken care of should something happen to them and their families. And so we're building a fund that will be able to do that for years to come, and we've had some great experiences. We actually just had a euchre tournament yesterday in support of the Benevolent Fund, which is that was a good turnout as well. So yeah, we're very fortunate to have such a giving community.
The keynote speaker at that event was Joy Sheehan, and riveting story about her son Christian. And actually, you're handing out some smoke and fire detectors soon, right?
We are. May 18th, we're going to do a smoke detector drive in Champaign, where we go door to door and ensure that people have working smoke detectors. Clearly, as everybody knows, smoke detectors save lives, and so we want to be sure that there are smoke detectors in every house in our community. And the Sheehans are very supportive in honor of their son to ensure that that partnership continues, and we'll be doing that, as I said, May 18th, and getting out in the community and putting some smoke detectors up.
Seen a few firefighters at CrossFit recently. They've new group have joined, and they're getting after it, man. You could have 22 hours of boring and 2 hours of life-changing stuff. You guys never know, do you?
We don't. And I mean, we are a very young department, and that's very exciting, right? There's a lot of opportunity to kind of change and improve the culture. And fitness has always been important in the fire service, but now I think more than ever with the things that we do, the challenges that we face, and because our core group is so young, fitness is really important. And I'm glad to see those firefighters out and about in the community. I try to lead by example and work out regularly, and you just never know, to your point, when that call will come in, where you need every bit of energy that you can muster.
Another thing, too, I don't know if people really realize it, but these horrible car accidents, you guys are first. I mean, you have to see stuff that the ambulance guy doesn't
get out
even
the jaws alive or whatever it takes.
And you see situations. Can you just turn that off and forget about it?
How do you decompress?
Well, so, physical health clearly has always been important and continues to be, but mental health, too, has become a primary concern for first responders. And we've done a good job in Champaign. One of our deputy chiefs is in charge of our peer support group, and we have people on staff every day that can work with individuals who might have had a emotionally traumatizing experience. And we also have therapists and professionals throughout our community who are willing to step up and on a moment's notice come to ensure that we have the tools we need. Because you're absolutely right. I mean, we see some of the most horrific things that that you can imagine, and it's not outside. It's not unlike a war zone, quite frankly. So we want to be sure that our firefighters have the tools they need to cope with that, and they're healthy both physically and mentally.
Well, and that was the case at the marathon too. Didn't you have to respond and revive somebody who had a heart attack?
Yeah, so we the City of Champaign and Champaign Fire Department, as well as other organizations, have always been supportive of the marathon, and that includes having our personnel out on the marathon route, usually in golf carts or in our UTV. And this weekend we had an Urbana firefighter and a Champaign firefighter. We had two groups of them paired up, and unfortunately, somebody had a medical emergency. Fortunately, there were people in the community right there ready to step up, and our firefighters, one from Urbana and one from Champaign, and you brought his name up earlier, and he probably doesn't want the acknowledgement, but Sean Manuel was the Champaign firefighter that was on that golf cart, and they were able to revive an individual who went into cardiac arrest, and matter of fact, he was talking to them before they left for the hospital. So it was the perfect scenario of people on scene starting CPR immediately, having advanced life support skills within a minute or two of the arrest, and then a great recovery and great outcome. So clearly we're very excited.
Andy, you're good, man. You're good on the radio. You're good, just good sounding guy. You sound like you're 30, so whatever you are, that's good stuff.
I wish I was.
He started when he was 2,
Yeah,
Stevie.
that's exactly right.
Okay. Exactly.
Andy Qualstrom, chief of the Champaign Fire Department. And again, we honor Lieutenant John Jenkins, Engineer Alex Coker, and firefighter Brandon Helm. Congratulations to these folks. And congratulations on running this good department. And nice chatting with you, Andy. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You as well. Andy Qualstrom, he's with Champaign Fire as the chief of fire department.
Just an online search away if you'd like to get involved.
All right, we'll be right back. Another half hour to go. Chris Custer's going to join us about what the heck happened at the marathon on Friday and all the rest coming up next. ESPN 93.5.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Campus protesters get physical at UCLA. Scuffles between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli protesters, and pro-Palestinian groups break down police barriers at GW University. But Secretary of State Blinken has a message on negotiations from Saudi Arabia.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel. And in this moment, the only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire is Hamas.
How would candidate Donald Trump handle the campus protest? Trump posting this morning in all caps, "Stop the protest now," a day off from its New York City trial. The former president also dismissing rival RFK Jr. as a Democrat plant in a wasted protest vote. The independent Kennedy says, "Meet me on stage to debate," to both Trump and Biden. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. 2 local firefighters being recognized for their success in rescuing an Illinois marathon participant who went into cardiac arrest during a race Saturday morning. Urbana Fire dispatched to the Meadowbrook Park to respond to the man who went into cardiac arrest participating in the race. Good news, he became alert again after talking to first responders as they transported him to the hospital. Police asking for the public's help in contributing to the arrest of an armed robber who stole money from an Urbana business Friday. The man entered an unnamed business wearing dark clothes and a mask, revealed he had a gun, demanding the cashier give him money. After the cashier handed over that money, suspect fled. Urbana police ask anyone with additional information to contact Crime Stoppers. Champaign police announcing an arrest in connection to a shooting that left a man with multiple gunshot wounds. Police say their investigation into the February 19 shooting, indicating Alan Williams of Calumet City approaching a man sitting in his car that was parked in his driveway on West Vine Street. Williams accused of opening fire, striking the victim several times. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Tapman's Towing reminds all Illini fans, when you're on the road and see lights flashing, move over and use caution passing. Let's all get home safe tonight.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
You have money laying all around you just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue